Join Kids Hut family. Isn't that John and his older brother? Yes, that's them. Look at that. He is really troubling his brother. Oh, I think John is in big trouble. I'm sure his brother is going to give him a big scolding. I don't think so. Why not? Didn't you see how he was troubling his brother? There is no way he's going to stop unless his brother scolds him. Don't decide on that till you've heard the story of the wind and the sun. A long time ago, the wind and the sun were just talking when the wind said something strange to the sun. You do know that I am more powerful than you, don't you?
Don't be arrogant, my friend.
But the wind got offended. I am not being arrogant, I am being truthful. If you don't believe me, let's have a competition right now. The sun did not want to compete with his friend, but the wind left him with no choice.
Reluctantly, he agreed. Okay, my friend. Let's have a competition.
Just then, a young man was walking on the road below them. He was wearing a beautiful scarf and a handsome coat. See that man below? Whoever can get the scarf and the coat off him wins.
Okay, wind, you go ahead first.
And so the wind blew at the man. The man's scarf moved a bit and his coat front flapped a little. I was just beginning. I will show the man some more of my power now. Now the wind blew a little more strongly. The man's scarf and coat front started flapping more in the wind. The wind grew fiercer and blew more wildly at him. The man's scarf almost left him, but he caught it and tied it around his neck properly. The wind blew at the man with all his power and anger, but it only made the man wrap his scarf and coat around him more tightly. He started feeling so cold with the wind blowing at him that he wrapped his arms around his legs and sat down by the road. The wind failed to get his scarf and coat off. I have still not lost. If my power and anger couldn't do the job, you surely won't be able to do it either.
Let us see. I think you have frozen the poor man. Maybe he could use some warmth.
And so the sun gently smiled a bit at the man. Immediately, the man started feeling better. He straightened up and the color returned to his cheeks. He got up and started walking his way again. Is that it? Is that all you will do? Smile at him? The son ignored his friend and smiled at the man a little bit more. The man became more comfortable and walked his way faster.
Watch what happens now.
Now the sun gave the man an even bigger smile. As the sun's smile grew bigger, the man started feeling warmer and warmer. Finally, he could take it no more and started sweating. He slowly took his scarf off. Oh no! At last, the sun's warmth became so much for the man that he took off his coat and flung it aside. The sun had won the competition. I am sorry, I underestimated the effect of gentleness. I thought only power could make things happen in the world, but I was wrong.
Oh, don't worry, my friend. Why don't you blow at him gently so his sweat can vanish?
The wind did so while the sun continued to smile at him lightly. The man went on his way enjoying a pleasant day. Wow, Tia, that's a wonderful way to be with people. Yes, there are better ways of changing things than a show of anger and power. I'm so glad you are my elder sister, Tia. If ever I do something wrong, I know you will correct me without scolding me. Well, looks like John also has a great brother. See? He's no longer troubling his brother. Tia, where are you? I am here, Tofu. What happened? Tia, you keep on teaching me new morals through different stories. Today I'll tell you a story that our teacher taught us in class. Oh, really? I'm so eager to listen to it. The Dog and the Bone. Once upon a time, in the dark alleys of a small village, there lived a dog. He was a stray dog who had to live on anything that he found on the streets, in the bins, or at the mercy of the people who would feed him every now and then. One day, while passing by a butcher's shop, he saw that there was no one to attend the shop. He entered the shop and his eyes popped out when he saw juicy chicken, lamb, pork, and turkey hanging. It was far from his reach, so he went around the cabinets to look for something.
I hope I could find something to eat here.
He went around sniffing and looking for it, and suddenly he saw a juicy big bone. He started drooling and said,
My day is made. This would surely fill up my tummy.
He bounced at it and grabbed it in his mouth. I'll eat this juicy bone in a quiet place where no one else would be able to take it away from me. So the lean dog very happily took the bone and looked for a secluded place. He crossed the village and entered the woods. While he was trying to cross a river, he stopped and looked at his reflection in the river. He was quite surprised at what he saw. He saw his own reflection and thought,
Oh my God, there is another dog with an equally juicy bone. It looks yum too.
I got to have that bone as well. And the moment the greedy dog decided to bark at the other dog, the bone fell in the river.
Oh, what have I done? It was my reflection in the water, and the greed made me lose my bone too.
He went away in sorrow, with surely a lesson to be learned. Wow, Tofu! That surely was a beautiful story. So what do you think is the moral of the story? Being greedy is not good, because a bird in hand is worth 3 in the bush. Tia, today I'm very happy. I met one of my friends who was acting all greedy and selfish in class. So I told him the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and he soon understood the lesson. Really, Tofu? I haven't heard this one. I would love to hear it from you. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Once upon a time, there was a town named Hamelin. The town was beautiful, bustling with energy and wealth. But no sooner the happiness of the town was ruined by a plague. Plague of rats. There were rats everywhere. So much so that the people of the town didn't even have a place to keep a step without tripping over the rats. There were rats of every size, shape, every age and color. Nothing worked as a remedy. Not even the cats were able to control the plague of rats. Giving up, the authorities decided to announce a reward of 10 bags of gold to anyone who could help to get rid of the rats. One day, a strange-looking man came to the town. He was dressed in their traditional dress, but all red in color, with a long, peculiar nose and big, wide eyes. He adorned his head with a feather in his hat. He went to the authorities and said, I have a solution for your problem. I assure you that not a single rat would live in this beautiful town. But I want 10 gold bags that you have promised as prize. The authorities were not very sure of his commitment, but still allowed him to give it a try, as they had no other option. Soon, the strange-looking man took out a Pied Piper from his pocket and started playing a very strange tune. Within no time, all the rats started coming out and following him. From every nook and corner of the town, so many rats came out that the whole street was filled with them. Very strangely, the rats started following the Pied Piper, who was playing the strangest tune ever heard. The Pied Piper took them to the town's river and entered into it. In no time, all the rats, mesmerized by his tune, fell into the river and drowned. There were rejoices in the town, celebrations all over. Soon, the Pied Piper went to the authorities to claim his prize money. But since their work was done and they thought that this plague would never return, they shunned him off and asked him to leave without giving him a single penny. What selfish people are these? I did them a favor, freed them from such a bad epidemic, and all they could care was to be greedy and ungrateful? Now look how I will teach these selfish people a lesson. The Pied Piper took out his pipe once again and started playing another strange tune. A tune that no one had ever heard before. In no time, all the children of the town, mesmerized by the music, started following the Pied Piper. The children were so lost in his tune that they didn't realize that they have come out to the outskirts of the town. The Pied Piper took them to a cave and let them in. He kept playing the tune till all the children were inside the cave. He then closed the cave with a huge stone. Only 2 kids were left in the entire town. A boy who was hard of hearing and a girl who had hurt her legs so badly that she couldn't keep up the pace with the rest of the kids. These 2 kids went back and told their parents about the Pied Piper and how he lured all the children into the cave. Soon, the authorities went begging to the Pied Piper and requested him to let their children out. This time, they promised to reward him with 20 gold bags. I don't trust you any longer. I want my prize money beforehand. Soon, he was handed over his prize money. And he left, never to be seen again. The children were freed from the cave, and the parents hugged them and cried. Watching this, the authorities said,
"We surely have learned a lesson. This man came out of nowhere and saved us from an epidemic. All that we did in return was to be selfish and ungrateful. He surely taught us a lesson of not to be greedy and selfish."
That night, the town rejoiced and celebrated like a festival. It's still said that in the town of Hamelin, if you ever go and listen carefully, you might hear the beautiful sound of the Pied Piper. Tofu, I'm so proud of you. You must be a little naughty, but you surely are a good boy. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hat family. Subscribe here.